If not, we'll move on to new business. The first item is consideration for approval of the 2013-2014 FFA trips. And they're a busy organization. They cover a lot of ground. They go to a lot of places, and they always very politely come here and ask for permission that they know we'll give. Maybe not tonight. You got to convince us tonight.
I'm Nelda Bailey, and this is Kelly Johnson. And I guess before we get started, we would like to welcome you guys to the possibility, if you have time available, on September 18th, which is Wednesday, from 3:15 to 3:45. We are doing registration and opening ceremonies and a skit for the state officer team is coming here and is doing a sectional leadership workshop in our auditorium in our school. And the reason why they're doing that is because we do have a state FFA officer this year. The last time we had a state FFA officer was the 80s. So it's been a while. It's a rigorous process to become a state officer. So we're very proud of Emma Heiser to have been elected to the state secretary. And her whole state officer team will be here, like I said, on Wednesday. They will be in our building probably at approximately 1:30 until about 9 o'clock that night. We'll also be doing a meal in the ag room. If you'd like to come to that, that'll be about 7:15 down in the ag room, and you're welcome to come to that too. So
That was my next question. Is there food?
Yes, there is. We seem to always have food.
The times again?
Yes. 3:15 to 3:45 is registration, and they will actually do their opening ceremonies, and they have like a 15-minute little skit. And then after that, they will take the students to 10 different workshops, and after that, they have another round with 10 different workshops and another round of 10 different workshops that are put on by the state officer. We will also have a national officer here too, Lindsay, and I believe she's from California. So we don't always get a national officer in Toma either, and there's only 6 national officers in the whole nation. So right now, each year.
But it's this coming Wednesday.
It's this coming Wednesday, and we will have snacks at 3:15 too.
Thank you for the invitation.
And then at 7:15 in the ag room, we will have more of a formal supper on that. Questions on that? Okay. And it is open to all of our students, and there will be about 25 to 30 different schools there too. So,
Great.
some of the trips that we have Mara and Trenda Conant. They're going to go through and talk a little bit about some of the different trips. If you have questions, feel free to ask.
Hi, I'm Mara Conant. I'm a senior this year. I've been involved in FFA for 7 years now. Some of the trips that we had this year is the National Convention in October, the 29th through the November 1st. And we go to Louisville, Kentucky this year. This year we have one person receiving an American degree, the highest degree you can earn as a student. Along with we have a sophomore going this year for an Ager Science Award. He's won at state level and regional, and now he'll be moving to compete for nationals. If they win, they will be going against a stage with 30,000 people recognizing their hard work. We'll have about 5 to 7 high school members attending the trip as well to participate in tours, workshops, and career expos. And then after that, in November, we also have a convention, the 212 and the 360 conference in Eau Claire. The 212 is one that you get to go and do workshops and learn to engage in your leadership along with working with other people. That is open for 7th graders through freshmen. And then the 360 is one that we get to do more developing goals and leadership, but that's for juniors and seniors. And then in March, we have the YES conference, and that is open for the co-op. They send a local 2 to 3 local members there to go and learn about different cooperative opportunities within the area for us, and they usually pay for that. And then we also go to the 212 or EDGE conference again in March, and that's the same thing as in November. And in June we have our state FFA conference, convention in Madison, and that is the state regional where we go speaking contests and do workshops and tours there is also, and we get to participate in like stage crew and work with the news release and stuff. And then also in July we have the state fair that we go to, and there's a state FFA honors band and chorus along with the show of the dairy, livestock, and pigs and horses.
I'm Trenda Conant. I'm a 8th grade middle schooler. In January we have the halftime leadership conference. It's a leadership conference that 2 officers can attend to gain new ideas and help their chapter grow. In February we have the Farm Formal. It is a leadership conference that is supported by the local farm brewery for our members. In June we have the state conference. In July we have our local officer retreat. It's where we set up our activities for the year.
One of them that we missed that Mara pointed out when we were putting this list together is the Washington Leadership Program, and that is a program that typically we have students who apply for a scholarship, and it is a week-long leadership conference, and in that conference they're able to look at government, they're able to look at leadership and all of those things and communication skills, and typically when they go there they have to come up with a goal plan of how can they improve their community, not just their chapter but their community as a school in general. That was one that I did accidentally miss. That one's not listed on here.
It's in Washington.
It is in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Yes.
And so for the big trips, the Kentucky, Washington, what kind of transportation is involved?
Okay. Kentucky, we usually take a tour or coach bus. Typically that one has been in the past couple years through Lamers bus out of La Crosse. Looking at 212 conference and 360, we have taken vans typically. For that one, halftime, a school car. Farm Forum, we have done school vans, co-ops conference, school vans, the 212 conference and Edge school vans, and then Madison school vans for that. State Fair, we have done school bus.
The Lamers bus, how is that financed?
The Lamers bus, we actually go with several other neighboring chapters together on the Lamers bus, and our students do pay a portion, and then the rest comes from funds that comes from fundraising.
Okay.
And our alumni then also helps to offset some of that too.
I make a motion to approve the list of FFA trips for 13-14 with the addition of the Washington trip.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 2013-2014 FFA trips as presented with the addition of the Washington trip as presented. Any other questions concerning these trips? The Washington trip, most people will be going on that, or that'd be a very select group?
That one is a pretty select group that gets to go to that. We typically have gone with students who are willing to apply for the scholarship. If they're not willing to apply, if they've applied for the scholarship and they do not receive a scholarship from the state or the nationals, typically that trip is funded through our FFA alumni, is how that one has been funded. And then also that student does travel on a coach bus. Typically the state FFA puts together a couple coach buses, and there'll be like a northern bus, a southern bus, and because we're kind of in the middle, we get the benefit of a little more flexibility in which days we want to go, because we can either get on the northern bus or the southern bus. So.
Great. Any other questions?
I had a comment, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
You know, after being on the board for several years and you people come in front of me as far as the FFA is concerned, I'd just like to say thanks for the leadership and also the presentation as to what you do for Toma Area School District with your organization. I think you're just great.
Thank you.
And the students have learned from you, and they go out into our society, and they're a great bunch of people.
Thank you.
And thank you for
Appreciate that.
doing it. Thank you for those trips that you go on. And you've been a great part of it. The one that's at the speaker.
Oh,
Because I've seen you for many years, and thank you.
Well
Thank
said,
you.
Mr. Grosstein. Yeah, you mentioned leadership, and that's last thing I'll add is, if you're not familiar with FFA, and you look at these trips, I don't think a lot of people would be aware of the emphasis in FFA on leadership skills and all of the conferences and their emphasis on leadership, and that's a big part of FFA.
and I guess one of the things that I probably failed to mention, when you look at like the 212 conference and the 360 conference, Nationals has started to line these up with core standards too. So they are meeting with their curriculum. They have redone their curriculum last year to match up with national course, with some of the core standards and things like that too, and national agri-science standards too. So just that you're aware of those facts.
More rigor. Yeah, great. Okay.
I'd certainly like to mention the second one there in command too, not just the one at the speaker. But
Yes.
thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I would just comment that the FFA students do get such great experiences for speaking and parliamentary procedure. And I know when I've taken students to different, like a Rotary meeting, it always seems like our FFA students are the most adept at getting up and speaking and talking about what they do. So it's a real testament, I think, to, again, the leadership and the skills that are developed through that program.
Yeah, great organization.
Well, I think both of us feel that communication, whether it's verbal or written, is pretty important, and that's one thing I think both of us really try to emphasize, not just in FFA, but also in our classrooms.
Okay. Anything else? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. The ayes have it. The motion carries. All of those trips are approved as presented, as well as the Washington trip. Anything else?
March 18th is the sectional speaking contest that, because Emma is the state officer, Toma will be hosting this year. So again, we have, that one's about the same amount of schools, so the 20 to 30 schools will be coming here to compete to go on to state for the speaking contest. Last year we held districts. This year we're holding the sectionals.
That's like an all-day thing or a two-day thing?
That's an after school.
Oh, it's an after-school, okay.
Yep.
They'll actually be narrowed down. We have 3 districts in our section, and only the top 2 from each district will get to advance to sectionals. Mrs. Zardy last year actually helped us out and judged for our district speaking contest, and we really appreciated that last year. So we'll need about 30 judges again, FYI. So if any of you like that.
Impartial judges. Okay. All right. Just remind us when that starts coming around. I'm sure people would like to help. Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck with all the trips and